Just when we thought we knew who was going to be the first hearing aid company to develop hearing aids that can stream directly from an Android phone into both ears, Phonak comes out of nowhere and beats everyone else to it. That's why in this video, I'm talking about the Phonak Audeo Marvel hearing aid. Coming up. Hi guys, Cliff Olson, Doctor of Audiology and founder of Applied Hearing Solutions in Anthem, Arizona. And on this channel, I cover a bunch of hearing-related information to help make you a better informed consumer. So if you're into that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to click the bell to receive a notification every time I post a new video. A few weeks back, I released a new video talking about the first hearing aids that will be able to stream directly from an Android device. But I want to apologize because I was completely wrong. You see, Phonak has been laying in the weeds waiting for the right time to release their new hearing aid, the Phonak Audeo M, which stands for Marvel, hearing aids that they're going to release on November 30th, and these hearing aids do exactly that. Here's the new lineup. As you can see, they will have the 312, which will use a disposable battery. They will also have a 312 version that will have a Telecoil, but that won't be available until February of 2019. They will have a rechargeable version, which is slightly thicker than the 312 at 8mm versus 7.1mm. The rechargeable version will also have a Telecoil option to accompany their size 312 and size 13 disposable battery models. Here's an up-close look at the Audeo M 312 devices that I've been playing with for the last week. They're very similar to the Audeo B devices, but a couple of the main differences here is that they actually have a switch that lets you increase volume or decrease volume or change programs at the same time, something that the Audeo B devices only had a single push button in the middle for. So that's a really nice feature. The battery door here on the bottom, there's your size 312 battery. They've also changed the receiver wires. I find these receiver wires to contour a little bit better than the Audeo B devices. And they've also changed the dome and the wax traps on these as well. Other than that, they fit very similarly to the Audeo B devices from the previous generation. This is what they look like on my ear. So you can see that that contours really nicely. They are extremely comfortable and they won't get in the way of even the thickest of glass frames. I've been able to demo these devices for over a week now, and you can make the argument that these devices have every single feature that is available on the market today. So go ahead and settle in for the long haul because we have a lot of things to talk about. Now let's start talking about some of the major features of these hearing aids, and the first one is connectivity. These hearing aids will connect with literally any phone that you have. I don't care if you have a brick phone, I don't care if you have an iPhone, I don't care if you have Android, because it uses Bluetooth Classic, not Bluetooth Low Energy, so there is no restriction on the capability to connect with traditional Bluetooth inside of pretty much any device that has Bluetooth. And when I was demoing this in my office, streaming directly to both of my ears from my Galaxy S8 phone, I couldn't get the smile off of my face because it has been 4 long years for me waiting for this feature to arrive. Phonak fixed one of the major flaws they had with the Audeo B Direct hearing aids, which was they could only stream audio into one ear. The new hearing devices now stream audio into both ears, and it still uses the microphone on those hearing aids to pick up your voice to send through to the person on the other end of the phone. So you can literally have your phone sitting on the kitchen table, walk into the living room, keep talking to the person you're talking to, and they will hear you just fine because it's using the microphone on the hearing aids. And you can still answer the phone on the hearing aid itself, so you don't even have to pull your phone out of your pocket or your purse. When I say it streams all audio, I mean it streams all audio, whether it's telephone calls, whether it's a podcast, it's music, an audiobook, a YouTube video. You can even stream directly from the TV as long as you have the TV connector box. Another absolutely crazy feature of these hearing aids is that they will have an integrated Roger receiver inside of these devices. Even the very smallest size, which is the Audeo M 312 device that I held up to the camera earlier, has an integrated Roger receiver inside of it. Now, if you don't know what Roger is, I highly recommend that you Google it because the Roger accessories from Phonak are some of the greatest accessories you could possibly have to cut through background noise if you have a lot of difficulty in background noise situations. The The reason that the integrated receiver is so crazy, and I'm still just shaking my head wondering like how the heck is this even possible, is that we used to have access to integrated Roger receivers with the Phonak hearing aids. All you'd have to do is pop off the battery door, pop on the integrated receiver, and then you would get access to whatever Roger device that you want. You can see how big these integrated Roger receivers were by switching out the battery door and adding these onto the bottom of the hearing aids. And on top of that, you couldn't even do this for a rechargeable hearing aid. Eventually everyone, no matter what size of Audeo M hearing aid that you have, will have access to this integrated Roger receiver. It will just require a firmware update in the fall of 2019. And as I mentioned before, from a connectivity standpoint, you are going to be able to have a telecoil in the size 312, the size 13, and the rechargeable version of these hearing aids while still being able to stream as much as you like from whatever type of device that you like. Now, if you're not familiar with what a telecoil does, it basically gives you access to a looped facility. Some of these looped facilities are churches or conference centers, and it will let you gain access to the audio directly from that facility. So if you go to a movie theater, for instance, and you have a telecoil in your hearing aids, you'll be able to pick up the audio from that movie right into the hearing aids as long as that movie theater has a loop installed. The telecoil versions aren't out yet, though. You're going to have to wait until February of 2019. All right, now let's talk about rechargeability. And yes, the Audeo M hearing aids are going to have lithium rechargeable technology. That means that these hearing aids will be able to get you a reliable 24 hours worth of battery life per day on a single charge, and they will be able to give you 16 hours of battery life if you stream up to 4 hours a day. They have a new mini charger that now has a lid compared to their first generation mini charger that did not, so it keeps your hearing devices more secure if you need to plug them in while you're on the go. They will still use the same charger as the Audeo BR devices. Now, it's almost like Phonak watched the Audeo BR rechargeable review that I did, because one of my biggest beefs with the rechargeable hearing aids is that when you pulled it out of the charger, you still had to press the button on the hearing aids to turn them back on, which proved to be a challenge for a lot of individuals who don't have good finger dexterity. Well, Phonak has fixed that flaw in their system. Now, when you pull it out of the charger, the hearing aids turn on. The Audeo M hearing aids will also give you access to a variety of different apps, including the remote app. The remote app will let you control the volume, it'll let you change programs, it will let you control the environmental balance when you're streaming audio directly from your phone. It will also give you a battery readout for your rechargeable version of these hearing aids. The My Phonak app will provide a patient portal for e-solutions that will give you access to a hearing diary, and it will also let you have live time adjustments made by your hearing care professional while you are sitting in the comfort of your own home. So no longer do you have to go all the way across town or across the country to see your hearing care provider to have them make little adjustments or tweaks inside of your hearing devices. These devices will also have call to text. Now, I'm starting to lose my voice because there's so many different features inside of these hearing aids, but the call to text feature is basically like a captioned telephone. When someone calls you, it transcribes what they're saying right on your smartphone. So no longer do you have to just rely on the audio inside of your hearing aids. You'll be able to read along with it on your smartphone as well. And of course, they will also have the tinnitus app that you can use for your hearing aids. If you're someone who suffers from tinnitus, it gives you the great ability to adjust what you're hearing to mask over that tinnitus. And Phonak has also been able to include binaural voice stream features inside of these Audeo M hearing aids, which is really good news for Phonak and for the user of these hearing aids. You see, previously they had to make a decision on whether or not they wanted to keep the binaural features of their devices intact or whether or not they wanted to do streaming from external devices. Well, now they have the best of both worlds, which is terrific because it brings back some of the great features that they had to leave out of the Audeo B Direct hearing aids. This ability for your hearing aids to communicate back and forth with each other using the binaural voice stream technology allows the hearing aids to create what we call beamforming, which is the microphones can actually hone in on the main talker that you're trying to hear. This feature gives rise to the stereo zoom feature inside of the Phonak hearing devices, which Phonak claims can improve your speech understanding in a complex environment by up to 60%. And I thought it'd be fun just to go ahead and throw in a video of an example of how stereo zoom works.
They looked really dangerous. Sometimes the water was as calm as a mill pond for long distances, and you could really get lost in your thoughts. What a beautiful trip, being so close to nature.
Phonak also decided to update their AutoSense OS to AutoSense OS 3.0. Now, if you would have seen my video talking about my favorite features of 2018, you would have seen that the AutoSense OS, the previous version of it, was my favorite feature. And this is because this feature allows you to go into different environments and have the hearing aids automatically detect that environment that you're in and kick your hearing aids into the proper settings for that environment. I also love it because as a hearing care professional, I can see which environments that you've been in so it can help me counsel you accordingly. Even though the previous generation of AutoSense OS was already better at identifying different environments than a human being was, they've still improved upon that and made it more robust in the new AutoSense OS 3.0. Phonak has also made the claim that it improves speech understanding and sound quality inside of their devices. They have also said that it can adjust automatically whether or not you're streaming audio that is speech-based or whether or not you're streaming audio that is music, and putting you into the proper settings for each one of those inputs. They've also said that you get variable compression speeds on any type of audio coming into the hearing aids, which is supposed to reduce your listening effort. Now, I just have a feeling when I make my video talking about the best hearing aid features of 2019, it's going to be really hard for any other feature to even come close to the AutoSense OS 3.0. Now, it is obvious that Phonak has made a huge leap forward with the Audeo Marvel hearing aids, but there are still a few things that bother me about these devices, a few little things that I don't like. The first one is it is not compatible with cross, at least at this time. If you have a single-sided deafness issue, then you are going to have to go with the previous generation of devices so you can get access to the cross transmitter, because it won't work with the Audeo M hearing aids. The other thing is about the rechargeability of these hearing aids. Even though they fixed the issue of where when you pull them out of the charger, they automatically turn on, it still has the issue of using the old charger case. The old charger case, at least the newer versions of the old charger case, they're really hard to get those out of that case. Anytime that I have someone with poor finger dexterity, I always break out a demo kit of the Audeo B rechargeable hearing aids, and they can hardly get them out of the case in most cases. So going with these devices for someone who has really bad finger dexterity might not be a good option. The other thing that I don't really like about the rechargeable aspect of these hearing aids is that it doesn't really give you that long of battery life. Yes, if you don't stream at all, it gets you 24 hours in a day, which is great for almost everybody because almost nobody stays awake for longer than 24 hours at a time. But if you start to stream a lot with these hearing devices, 4 hours of streaming will pull that down all the way to 16 hours, which is kind of on the verge for some users depending on how long they actually wear their hearing aids throughout the day. Now, this isn't really surprising because they have to use Bluetooth Classic instead of Bluetooth Low Energy, so that is the trade-off that you get when using a rechargeable hearing aid that also is able to stream from any device. The other thing that I'm not really a big fan of with the Audeo M hearing aids is that Phonak has chosen to try to improve the sound quality of their devices, but by doing this, they are lowering the amplification in the high frequencies on their first fit settings, meaning the auto program settings of their devices. In my opinion, this is catering to hearing care professionals who do not use real ear measurement to verify their hearing aid fittings. Adapting the high frequency amplification is absolutely critical to maximizing your performance with hearing aids. And in my opinion, this reduction of high frequency amplification in order to give the perception of better sound quality at the initial fitting puts you at a higher risk of an improper fit from a hearing care professional who doesn't perform real ear verification. Now, I would never recommend you go to a hearing care professional who doesn't verify your hearing aid fitting using real ear measures, but some people might not even have the option. Now, if you want to learn more about real ear measurement and why it is so critical to maximize your performance with whatever hearing aids that you have, I highly recommend that you watch my video that I will link in the card up here and in the description below. Despite these little flaws that exist in the Audeo M hearing aids, Phonak has moved itself from the bottom of the list when it comes to connectivity and firmly placed itself at the top of the list. Even though there are other hearing aids that do some things better than these hearing devices, you would be really hard-pressed to find a device that does so many things as well as the Phonak Audeo Marvel. That's it for this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. If you liked the video, please share it. And if you want to see other videos just like this one, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'll see you next time.